Hello everyone, welcome to another talk here. So we're going to discuss a little bit about superimposition as a concept with improvisation in general. And so this is tied into our practice ideas and concepts. So we will be looking at ways to kind of internalize, work this into our playing. So to start out with, I'll do a little playing up front here on Ladybird. Okay, so we're thinking here about superimposition. So that's sort of falling under a concept of kind of similar to the idea of substitution, but it differs because we're, instead of jointly playing, let's say, a substitute change with a pianist or anyone who's playing harmony, we're actually playing kind of, in a sense, against them. Or playing something that deliberately kind of clashes, I might say, with that, or creates extra tension. So we're going to talk about this, and I'm going to reference a book by Dave Lieberman, which I have a physical copy of it, but I'm going to reference a digital copy here. And I'd highly recommend getting that book, and I'll leave a link to that in the description. So he talks about saying there's a original, let's say there's an original progression. Okay, so I'll say you have D minor, G7, and C major 7. So a 2-5-1 progression. I was saying you could have these kind of different ways of working with those by playing kind of substitute changes, or not substitute, superimposing your own changes. So for example, instead of playing that, you have the harmony, keep going with that D minor and the G7, and then play, maybe melodically, A flat minor 7, D flat 7, and then go to C. So let's see if we can find that part of the progression in here. So that. And if you listen to kind of the turnaround on this tune that we're working on, Ladybird, that kind of falls into a little bit of some of the kinds of approaches, I might say. But I'm going to do a little copy and paste on one part of the progression. And I think I'll just edit it a little bit so that we don't actually do the turnaround part of things. We just kind of stay on the C. And so I should probably do this. All right, so we'll have try to make this a little somewhat interesting. All right, let's hear how the backing track sounds, although I'll need to change the bass line too. Okay, so what we're doing here is creating a little bit of a backing track for this progression. 2-5-1, so we can hear how these kinds of devices sound. And this is a good example of how you might practice some of these. So put a repeat on it. Let's hear how it sounds. Okay, we'll slow it down a little bit. So we've created a little bit of a loop here. So let's hear it with just outlining the changes themselves. Again, D minor. All right, let's try the A flat there. Okay, so so that's what's known as the tritone substitution, right? So let's check it out so you could actually put even more segments of progressions in there. So it doesn't have to be 4 beats of one chord and 4 beats of another. So he's got some examples of playing with 2 beats each. So let's give an idea of how that would sound. So this progression is kind of mixing the 2 together, so you get A flat minor, and then D minor, and then D flat 7, and then G7. So we're kind of putting those both together, and you can put them in all sorts of different orders and things. And check out Fee Fi Fo Fum or anything like that, like a Wayne Shorter kind of tune. You'll likely hear this concept kind of written into the composition here. This is same kind of language, sort of, but a different context. So anyway, we're mixing with the original is how he puts it. So I'm mainly doing arpeggios. Okay, so that's mixing in a tritone substitution with the mixed with the original, right? So it gives your lines a little more motion to it. So let's check out the concept of side slipping. So this is another concept for playing a little bit outside. So and here we have he's telling us to play this progression A flat minor 7. Okay, and then we're gonna go to A7 to the D flat 7 to the B7, and then up to the C. Okay. So we still have that tritone substitution of the A flat minor and the D flat 7. Okay, and then he's going to have these other chords in there, the A7 and the B7. So let's listen to how that is going to sound. And again, like I said earlier, mainly I'm playing arpeggios on it. So let's check out a little bit how that is going to sound. So it's fun to use that as kind of a structure um, to play through on a on a certain progression, and it goes over examples and things. Well, let's take a minute to just kind of scanning through. It's been a while since I've looked at this book. But let's go through and play once again on Lady Bird here, and maybe explore some of these and concepts. And how this all works. So also, so this is a video for YouTube channel members, also available as a podcast. So we'll go kind of slow again, but so I'll work in some of these concepts here to some of the different 2/5s that happen in this tune, Lady Bird. All right, so we get into some really pretty heavy dissonances in there, and so practicing kind of deliberately moving through and think about maybe some progressions. I did mostly side slipping and the tritone substitutions, and then so from a practice perspective, which is what we're talking about today, is that you try to work on something specific, and then it may come out in a way that you intended for some spontaneous improvisation, or it may go in a different direction and just kind of influence your overall musical kind of library, you might say, your just groups of phrases kind of open up the ear really to more dissonant kinds of sounds. Okay, so let's go back to our 251, and the 251 is a progression to really practice a lot. It's very important. So here we're practicing kind of improvising over it. So let's talk about some more variations. I'm just going to kind of read these changes as we go over it. And then I'll talk about kind of the concepts behind it as well. So check my levels here as we go. So again, we'll take this slow. So he's going to talk here a little bit about the original 5 of 5. And what happens here is it extends it over into, so we have a bar of D minor, a bar of G7, and then 2 bars of C. And what he's doing is moving the progression and delaying when you'll hear C. So you get A minor for a measure, D7 for a measure, and then you get D minor 7, G7 for a measure, and then C finally. So C is delayed by 1 measure. But as you'll hear, the piano, the rhythm section is playing the original progression. So it'll have this sort of effect, and he's calling this 5 of 5 because the G7 or the D7 is the 5 of the G7, the 5, and then it has, each one has a 2 placed in front of it. So again, we'll kind of go through this slowly, and I'm going to mainly play arpeggios. So it gives us a lot of possibilities here, just kind of delaying that that tonic. So let's go over a couple more that he mentions here. So he's got the tritone substitution again. So he's got this progression where we're superimposing this. So E flat minor to A flat 7. Then the A minor 7, the D7. So there, the tritone substitution is on that 5 of 5. So you get that's the substitution that goes back to the kind of, you might say, original 5 of 5. And then back to the 2, instead of the 5, plays a flat tritone substitution. There's a flat 7. So this might be a little bit confusing. Overall, we're using concepts of substitution inside of the superimposition. So just to differentiate there, superimposition is playing different chord changes while the rhythm section plays the original chord changes. A substitution would be when the rhythm section together plays a different change with the improviser. And then kind of a little subset of that is, this is kind of my take of what he's doing. It's kind of just using the substitution, which is a common word that's used for this practice, but in this context, it's gonna, the overall scheme of things, it's superimposition. Okay, so let's hear how this one sounds. All right, so that F sharp really kind of sits in there as something that really kind of sounds out. So you might just kind of try to play around with it and see what's good timing for maybe that one, if that's striking you in that way as well. So, all right, so let's play one more time on Lady Bird. So this would be a good tune to practice on, to just kind of get some of these things going and to practice with. And it's really good to take little segments of it, so you might loop certain parts of the tune. So again, we'll take it a little slower than normal just to kind of get ourselves going with some of these concepts. everyone. Well, thanks for checking out this video. I think I've got some of these technical issues worked out. It's been a little bit of a rough week last week for the setup of everything, but I think we're kind of running in good shape here. So again, thanks for checking this out, and I will see you all in the next one.